Hey everybody, what's up? I'm back. Okay, so I was having some lighting issues, so I had to change things around. So I already sort of started this already. I first did my shimmersand base, and I also used a paint as a base in Still Life. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm dabbing on an eyeshadow, Sweet Lust, on the inner corners of my eyes, and now I am using Hepcat on the outer 2/3 of my eye, and I am using the 217 brush for that. So I'm just dotting it on and sort of dragging it a little bit from the Sweet Lust over, because the main thing you want to do when you blend your shadows is you want to get that in-between color. So I have a really light pink and then a purplish, so I want an in-between shade of those two. So you could work it back and forth. Some people like to just drag from the dark to the light, and some people like to drag from the light to the dark. I just do whatever works for the moment. I don't really have a set rule. You know, if I think it's working that I'm dragging the dark to the light, then that's what I do, and that's all. So you'll watch me kick on the Hepcat like nobody's business, and that's just what I'm doing here. So, yeah. And with the 217 brush, which I think is one of my favorite brushes, like, I didn't get it till later on, but it's absolutely wonderful. Like, I would use it all the time if I had more. I wish I had like 3, because then I would just use 217 brushes, but I only have 1. So here I'm just trying to blend more of the Sweet Lust and Hepcat just to make it look a little better. And I had some trouble with this video because I was using a really bright light, so I couldn't really see my reflection that well. So I'm doing the best that I can do. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use, more Sweet Lust. Yeah, I went back with the Sweet Lust to try to drag that over a little bit to help blend. Yep, there we go. Yeah. These bangs are getting in the way. They need to be cut, I think. I'm not quite sure, but... Oh, next I'm going to use Parfait Amour. And I accidentally grabbed my 275 brush, and then I realized that that was a mistake, and grabbed my 224. Look. No! Ah! Oh, yep, bad. So I'm going to grab my 224 brush with the Parfait Amour and swirl and tap, and that'll work a lot better. I love the 272 brush, or 275, but it just doesn't work. I don't think it works well for me when I'm trying to do my crease. So I take Parfait Amour with the 224, and I dot it in the corner and drag it up, and try to go lighter as I go towards the Sweet Lust. So you just dot and drag. Keep dotting, keep dragging. And this is a fun look. I started doing this, I just got back from vacation, so I started doing it while I was on vacation and sort of fell in love with it. So, and I have a funny story about vacation. I didn't have room for my brush cleaner in my suitcase, so I asked my mom to put it in her suitcase. Oh, yep, and do the other eye. So I asked my mom to put my brush cleaner, my MAC brush cleaner, in her suitcase, and I just sort of shoved it in at the last moment because I had it on my carry-on, and you can't take that big a liquid on the plane. So I put it in her suitcase, and we got to where we were going, and she opened her suitcase, and she's like, "What's this empty bottle doing in my suitcase?" And yeah, the brush cleaner like exploded all over her clothes, and I felt super bad. So I'm a pretty bad daughter, but I made it up to her. I took her to MAC, and I helped her pick out some new eyeliner and stuff, so hopefully that made it even. Alright, back to makeup. You're just going to work it in the crease a little bit more, the Parfait Amour, and you can darken it as much as you want. It all depends what kind of look you're going for. I'd probably actually do this a little bit darker if I had better lighting. It looked darker in the mirror than it looks here. So the last step I'm going to do is for my highlighter color, I'm using a pigment Provence? I never really know how to pronounce some of these, but I think it's Provenance. Provenance? And I'm just going to highlight underneath my brow and sort of blend it down into the Parfait Amour a little bit. You can do this whatever way you want. You know, if you want softer eye shapes, go down further. If you like the shape you have, then you don't have to go down as much. And the highlighter, I think, really makes a huge difference. So don't forget that. That's just a very crucial step. And make sure you do the other eye. And then, yeah, make sure there's none on your nose. And after that, I'm going to go back to my faithful and trusty Dior Show mascara. So I'm not using Fluid Line today. I don't think this look needs it. And I don't know, Fluid Line is a heavier look. And since it's summer, I mean, you try to go for lighter things. So, just some Dior Show. And I'm just basically putting it mostly on the outer 2/3 of my eye. I'm barely putting any mascara on the inner third. I've just been messing around with that more and trying to find which way my eyes look the best. And it's definitely just on the outer. Like, I don't even bother swiping the inner lid. So there you go. Look, my hair got longer. Fluffy, bangs, gotta figure that business out. So hope you enjoyed. Thanks. Bye.